Hello, my name's Will and I work for Quell Training and I'm referred to now as a virtual classroom trainer. And over the past few months we've been doing videos on workplace violence and some on virtual classroom training. And I've got quite a few questions over the past few weeks asking me, we understand virtual classroom training now, Will. However, what should we be looking for when we look at a virtual classroom trainer? See, I've been doing this for 4 months, so I'm just as new to this as most people in the industry. However, I've seen so many different sessions now, I've gauged it in my own opinion. I've seen some that are fantastic, interactive, and some that have been quite a challenge to get through, which I'm sure one or two of you will understand. Teaching in a classroom is totally different than teaching online. As I speak to many trainers, a lot of them say to me that doing 2.5, 3 hours online can be just as difficult as doing a whole day. However, what I say to my clients and people who ask, I say, well, these 5 things you should always look for. 5 simple things that I recommend that may give you some help to pick the right type of trainer for you. So here's my 5. Let's look at number 1. So sound. I say sound is very important. If you don't have clear sound, it can switch people off immediately. If it's intermittent sound, if it's low sound, if it's any type of, shall we say, sound that has an echo to it, you'll never get sound perfect. What I say to even my trainers who have obviously done it, and I've done it, is invest in proper mics, proper mic system, which I'm talking to you now. If a trainer comes on and he's doing through the computer, sometimes it doesn't sound as clear. Because sound is one of those things that can turn off attendees like that. Hopefully that cleared it up for you in that sense, because people don't realise sound's very important. However, the second part, which I ask people to look for, or the second indicator, which will help them, is... So lights. Lights are brilliant. Lights can lighten up the situation so that they can see what's going on, whether you're working on a flip chart or you're bringing in examples of equipment like I would do if I'm using low working devices or I'm using any form of panic buttons. They can see it clearly. If necessary, I use my separate camera that they can actually use and see. So making sure in that sense that lights is clear. I've seen trainers deliver and it's pretty dark. Looks like they're in a witness protection program. Hopefully someone will laugh at that. Now, if you get the sound right and the lights right, well, surely the picture's perfect, isn't it, realistically? Or is it? You decide. So picture. Now, picture sounds funny, doesn't it, if you think about it? Because if you got the lighting right and you got the sound right, everything should follow in. Not necessarily. Angles is a big thing I always find. Like, for instance, I'm looking straight down the camera. If your trainer's looking straight down the camera, or the person that you're going to hire, it gives it more of an equal balance. I always find looking down or looking up, it doesn't have that basis. You can even get that different perception of size of everything. Whereas picture, in that sense of direct, clear, focused, with everything encapsulated into it, helps. So the angle is a very important thing. Now, one of the biggest bugbears I encounter when I'm on a course or I'm watching someone present is that there could be more going on in the screen than what you realise. And it can, well, see for yourself. Now, distractions is my favourite one. All I have is I have the logo up. And I only do that because of copyright. That's what I've been told by legal teams we've worked with. They just said it's just helpful. I'm wearing my logo for a change, where I used to wear a shirt. These little things are important because distractions can put people off. How many of you have been on a Zoom meeting and you're looking in the background of somebody's house, looking at their kitchen or their living room or wherever they are? Or if, in my case, quite a few times for some reason, some people are in the bedrooms. We'll leave that one for another day. But the thing is, distractions is a big thing, especially for training. You're the trainer. The whole focus should be directly onto you, clearly onto you, without their eye scaving around on other things. Like I always say, flip chart. I use a flip chart. Some people use a whiteboard. But I find it very interesting because I can refer to it without having to change screens. I've seen it where people have used pictures, they've put their own books up in the background, obviously advertising. Well, that just might be on the news. Or they put even one I've seen a few times where there's sculptures behind them. I know talking to trainers, one of the biggest bugbears is mirrors. They don't like mirrors behind them because it then weird perception or advertising everywhere. I always say keep it clean because you're selling the product. So if you're selling your product and your service, your attendees want to buy. And that's as you as a client should be looking at. Is this person selling the product or the service? Not everything around them. Just another one. Now, the last bit for me, which I think is the most important in a sense as well, of getting all that ready, you know what I mean? You've got your sound, you've got your light, you've got your picture, you've cut away all your distractions. Well, like I say, you need a bit of energy. Now, when I say energy, I don't mean an energy drink. Although some people tell me it helps. I prefer just a coffee usually helps. Too much caffeine can give you too much energy, in my opinion, sometimes. However, let's see what I mean about energy from my point of view. So energy. It's one thing I've never ever been accused of not having. Energy is a big thing, but I always find in the virtual, the trainer has to push the energy across to the actual attendees. That's by keeping an eye on them, interacting. One good thing I always say about certain platforms that are out there now, we use Zoom, is that you can actually see their names. I pick up names quite quick, but it is that point of having the energy to say, well, what do you think? What do you think? What do you ask that interaction that you want to look from a trainer? Not necessarily an energy drink, although coffee for me works. But again, it's putting the energy across. That's the trainers that you should be looking for. As I've said, VCT training is not the same as in a classroom. You've got a lot more to think about, a lot more to prepare, a lot more to rely on. But again, you're the client and you're the one selecting your type of trainer. Good luck. Now, hopefully, they're 5 simple points. Now, I will remind you, the 5 points I've picked up on, I've had to spend time learning, researching everything. Like this backdrop here, this is not what I would use. You've just seen what I use to make it simple. Hopefully, it's give you a bit of an insight into it. But again, if the trainer, virtual classroom trainer, is putting the effort in, well, you should enjoy the session. Bye for now.